Hello, and welcome to Japanese Craft Beer Reviews. Today we'll look at a beer that's not Japanese, but is craft. I guess we can say it's craft. And it's from a brewer that started in Copenhagen in 2006, and that brewery is Mikkeller. And again, 2006, so they've been going for about 23 years, 23 years. And they were founded by two friends who were home brewers in Denmark. One was Mikkeller Bergso. I don't pronounce his name correctly, I'm sure, but he was a high school teacher, and he and his friend started the brewery started brewing together. And the other man left in 2007, and so he's since been working on his own. And he is was what was called a gypsy brewer, meaning going to different breweries and brewing there, using other people's equipment to brew your beer, so not having your own facility. Since then, of course, they have built brick and mortar breweries and brew pubs in a number of places: San Diego, Denmark, New York City, and London. And they have a number of brew pubs as well, one in Tokyo too. So he became famous for brewing unusual styles. He was inspired by U.S. craft brewers, especially ones that were kind of pushing the boundaries of beer and breaking rules and trying to create new tastes. So he probably became really famous for making a beer called Beer Geek Brunch and Imperial Stout, and there's a number of varieties of that, including one called Beer Geek Brunch Weasel. And I do have an old bottle of that I'm aging. I'll review it at some point. I have had it before. And the weasel here refers to what are called civet cats, and this uses very high-end Vietnamese coffee. And what happens is the civet cats eat the best berries, and it goes through the digestive system. They poop it out, and it's washed off and sold as coffee. Apparently, that process of going through the digestive system of these civet cats will release some enzymes in the beans. And so that became kind of famous, kind of like something like BrewDog does, using some unusual ingredient, as a marketing technique. But it does produce, I've had it before, it is quite an exceptional beer. And also he's done things like variations on a theme, where he'll take a certain recipe, for example, a certain kind of IPA, and run it through different variations. For example, oak barreling, oak barrels of different ages, oak barrels that have had different spirits in them, rum or calvados or things like that. On Rate Beer, there were 1,434 beers listed, so he's been busy doing a lot. And I should mention that he does have a brother who apparently they had a feud or still have a feud, I'm not sure. But the brother opened a brewery, and he called himself Evil Twin, and you may know them, based in the United States now. So let's get to the beer today. Today's beer is this one. It's called Mikkeller Blanche De Mikkeller, a wit beer. And of course, you can see the label art here. Somebody's getting white or blonde hair, and apparently they like it. This is a Belgian style wit beer at 5%. I don't know the IBUs for this one. On Rate Beer, there were 23 ratings only when I checked, and the average is not terribly high, 2.93, and 23 percentile for all beers on Rate Beer, and 33 percentile for its style, which is wit beer. And Untapped, 2,741 separate ratings, and the average was higher, 3.3 out of 5. The ingredients include malt, which is Pilsner malt, wheat flakes, coriander, orange peel, hops and yeast. I don't know the hops, but they're probably not an important element here. The coriander and orange peel are traditional features of wit beer style. Okay, so this was brewed at De Proof Brewery, where they apparently brew a lot of their beers these days. De Proof in Belgium. All right, well, I'm interested in getting into this here. So wheat flakes, not wheat malt. I wonder if that will give it a hazy sort of appearance. Okay. All right. Definitely getting the coriander right away. Some light citrus element as well. Traditional wit beers in Belgium use dried curacao orange peels, and I wonder if they use that here or not. A Japanese brewer just released, Sapporo Yebisu just released an orange beer using orange peels, but they didn't specify. I don't know if it's regular oranges or not. Okay, so this does have a typical wit beer nose, light, sort of zesty fruitiness. It's quite floral, quite wheaty. Yeah, so I have no complaints about the aroma here. Okay. To start off, weedy, and the coriander is pretty concentrated in the late mid and mid palate. Seems a little more bitter than most wit beers. How the coriander's interacting with the hops here. Orange peel is okay. This is it's not terribly badly made at all. It's not a very exciting wit beer. It seems a little heavier than many in the style, and a little bit more bitter as well. That bitterness kind of stays with you, and I think wit beer should have the wheatiness, definitely, but maybe not so heavy on the tongue as this one is. Yeah, can't complain too much about this, but you give it a try, okay? Look for it if you live in Japan. You can probably find it in several places. I found it in a department store basement area where they sell food and liquor and that sort of thing. It may be available a lot of places around the world. It seems like Mikkeller kind of leaving their craft beer roots and trying to go a little bit more commercial by hitting the style. So the last one I reviewed was the hazy IPA, which is the trendy, not trendy, well, it has been trendy for a long time, but instead of exploring things the way they used to, maybe you got tired of that, I don't know. But in any case, give it a try. Again, it's called Mikkeller Blanche De Mikkeller, a wit beer at 5%. That's it for today. Please do take care. Bye-bye.